Hey there, we're doing the next phase. I'm going to be doing some planting on planning and possibly getting these guys ready to do some of the initial planting. So you're going to be following along. So before we get started and I start distributing them throughout the garden, I wanted to just give you an idea of the palette of plants. They just look so pretty when they're all mashed together here. And then when we because you can just see the variety of textures and colors, and that's kind of a shorthand way to really kind of appreciate where I feel like the garden could go. So we've got nice gray foliage and yellow foliage, different textures, strappy foliage there on the yucca. That gray foliage with its white underside is that's a Brakelights. And then we got that wiry white foliage that really kind of echoes what's happening underneath that leaf. Looks fantastic with the yellow. We've got a Ceanothus here that is going to be blooming pretty soon. This one's called Dark Star. We've got some Pittosporum. That's a low-growing variety. Oops. Sorry, I'm shaking around here. That's a low-growing variety. It's called Pittosporum tuberoia Shima. And sometimes it's sold as the trade name Creme de Menthe. And this is a Grevillea. You can see it's got the remnants of flower. It's going to bloom in winter and really sporadically throughout the year. And that particular variety is called, let's look. I got it because... Oops, let's see if I can get there. I got it out at Cistus, and it's called Low Red. So some Grevillea are kind of rounded shrubs. I was going for something that was going to kind of carpet the ground. These are Hesperaloe. So those red yucca. The foliage is evergreen, and then in summer, it's just these tall wands of red flowers that the hummingbirds just adore. We've got some dormant grasses, and then I have a Cistus down here. So, and just as a reminder, we are in Portland, Oregon. We're a USDA Zone 8. This garden is pretty much full sun. It has access to water, but we are really trying to be relatively low water with our choices, as you may have surmised from the palette that we just looked through. And we want it to look good year round. So lots of structure, and a mind, and in terms of maintenance, there's a willingness to, of course, maintain the garden because they have interest in being gardeners, but nobody really wants to their garden or be really obligated to it. So we're going to really try and keep the maintenance really manageable. So you're going to see me running around in this garden, laying out some things and thinking about what I need to add to this palette of plants. This is only a portion of the plants that we'll be using in this garden. So these guys got right down to it, and they got the plants that I placed earlier today in the ground. So that's pretty awesome. I thought I would just take a quick walk through and just show you current status. We are going to be putting more plants in for sure. But I think, the idea is I want to show this to you as we go through it. And so you can really kind of see a little bit more about the process, and I'd like to share some of my, my thoughts about why I'm doing what I'm doing. So this section here, we've got some plants that are going to be here and be, kind of a major contributor to what's going on. There's that Ceanothus there in the middle. That's Ceanothus dark star, and that's going to really kind of occupy that middle area, and we've left room for that. Then we've got this little shrub down here. That's a Cistus, and it's going to be kind of it's Cistus-like, and it's going to be about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. And we've got a little juniper. This one was selected for its color, but also it's really small size. So it's called Gold Strike, and it's just going to be a nice yellow carpet here on the corner, and it'll interact really nicely with the Hesperaloe. So as you may recall, we have 3 of those Hesperaloe, and they're kind of peppered through here. We'll look at them down on the other end. The other things that are repeated, you're going to see, I've got the Yucca Golden Sword, which in some ways are the easiest one to kind of pick up that repetition because they have that yellow color. So there's a couple here, and then there's one on the far end. And then we've got the Brachyglottis. Those are going to be evergreen shrubs with yellow flowers. They'll get like 3 by 3 and sometimes a little wider. Not terribly tall. They have a tendency to grow wider than tall. One of the things that I'm trying to do is, I love these Natchez crepe myrtles. And so what I'm placing around them, I'm really being careful to not put plants around the trees that are going to get too big so that it blocks our view of that bark. So what I have here is that's a grass, that's Millennia Moorflame. It's upright, but it's really transparent, so that's not going to obstruct the view of those trunks. We've got that Grevillea, which is going to be a ground cover. And then we've got these yuccas, which, they have a little height to them, but again, they're just not going to get too terribly tall and interrupt that view. There will be a path through here. You're noticing, and I haven't really expressly said, this is a parking strip. And so we do need to provide some pedestrian access. And so we're going to be putting a path through there. And we added a Cistus here. That's a Cistus. Matter of fact, let's check the name of it. It is Cistus. Ooh, sorry, let me get this for you. Sorry, it's all... Okay, Cistus. Ooh, sorry about that. Dancing around there. Cistus Jenkyn Place. And that is going to occupy, it's about the similar scale and size as the Ceanothus dark star on the other end. It's also evergreen. And so those are going to be, kind of our, some of our major structural drought-tolerant flowering shrubs. And then we did place a few plants up here, but I haven't done very much up here yet. So we've got a little repetition. So I've done a Grevillea here, which is an echo and a repeat of the one that we did down by the street. And then I've got these Pittosporum here. And these plants were selected because we've got this agave, which is super awesome. And we've got that Arctostaphylos. And so I don't want these plants to get very tall. And so I'm really trying at this point to frame that agave and not overwhelm it. On the corner, we're still cogitating on what we'll have exactly, but we are going to have something tall in the corner, probably a conifer of some sort, and something that has a really interesting and striking shape. So that's going to be a fun selection to make. We transplanted, this is actually an oak leaf hydrangea from my back garden, and we tried to transplant it. So I'm hoping that the transplant takes. If not, we've got another plant that we can put in there. But I thought, well, we'll give it a whirl. It got too big for my garden, and so we're just trying to maybe transplant it out here. And it'll either work or not. Either way, I was going to be taking it out. So we'll see. And then behind that, so just as a reminder, that oak leaf hydrangea, one, it's got that pretty bark now, which is great. And this has been, it's obviously dormant, and it's been thinned out. But oak leaf hydrangeas, they have that big, bold foliage, great fall color, and the summer blooms. And they're sun tolerant for a hydrangea. And so I think it's going to do okay there. That'll also be helped by the fact that I'm going to, there where there's still grass, we're going to be doing another shrub that's going to have some height to it, and so that's also going to kind of break some of the sun from beating down on it. Behind that, we're going to be doing another evergreen. This is Western Exposure, and those windows, they're not windows that we're trying to protect the view out of, especially. They're kind of high. So we are going to be able to, it's going to be kind of, actually my current thinking is it's going to be a pittosporum, but a taller variety. And I'll let you know if that's what actually goes in there, but that's my thinking right this moment. So anyways, that is current status. Lots more is going to go in. We've got a few more structural plants that'll go in. And then once we get those done, then, and selected, then we will be doing some perennials and flowers and ground covers and just the whole 9 yards. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And this project in particular is going to have its own playlist, and it's called Project 1. So this is going to be part of the video for Part 2, Project 1. And we will keep giving you updates on this garden as it unfolds, both in the initial installation, and because it's right next door, we'll be able to watch it grow and evolve throughout the year and over the seasons. So thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next time.